I very briefly want to tell you about another, actually quite similar project where music has proven to be inspirational to a group of people who are very overlooked in society, who have very little provision, who nobody cares about, with whom we have been working for a long time. And this is a group of learning disabled adults. And this came out of a project which Keith Nimmo, our artistic director, who is responsible for all this, not me, I hasten to add. Keith developed this programme following the years and years and years of work he has done with the special schools in Wiltshire, across Wiltshire, using music as a means of communicating with the children and for children to communicate with a world that they find very difficult to communicate with in many respects because of their disabilities. So having done the Special Schools Project festival we're now in its 15th year, Keith and the musicians who delivered the Special Schools Project for us realised that there's a terrible need for these children once they reach the end of special school. Then they really are just out there in the community and they fall off a cliff. There's nothing for them. Learning disabled adults, there's very, very limited. So this is a club. We set up a club for learning disabled adults to access music, film and dance. It's been going for 4 years now. These are some photographs and I'm very quickly going to show you just a little clip of film so you can see for yourselves. It's providing an opportunity for learning disabled adults to come together to meet with the people that they've been perhaps at school with, because special schools are hubs, so people travel a long distance. And they get to do what they want to do. So they create the music, they write the songs, they decide if they want to do make the film, they do some dance. They do it themselves, and it is facilitated by musicians, but it is participant-led, and it's all about what the participants want to do. So I'm just very quickly going to play you a little bit of this film, which is a film that they made a couple of weeks ago, because we use film a lot to help them to remember what they do from month to month, and also to show people what the inspirational power of music can do to communicate in people's lives. So we'll just watch a little bit of this.
And to implement a special effect, I gave you a gift photo who was interviewed by Film Club. For time reasons, I'll cut it off there, because there's one other point I wanted to make about this project, is that funding for this sort of work is extremely difficult to come by. And we decided a year ago with the musicians that we needed to find strength in unity, and they were working with another project doing a similar thing in Frome in Somerset, and Salisbury Arts Centre had done a pilot of this in Salisbury, and we decided to get together as 3 organisations trying to make this more sustainable, such that we had a better story to go to funders with, that this wasn't just about one club meeting once a month
on quite an expensive model. As you can imagine, we require 7 musicians to run a club for 25 to 30 people. So we decided to get together in partnership to try and find funding on a developmental basis. And the musicians took the lead on this and set themselves up as a community interest company and applied for a grant for arts to keep the 3 clubs, or to start the Salisbury Club and keep the other 2 operating over some time, and they were successful in getting that grant for arts. And I think a big reason that they were successful is because they put the 3 together, and we were stronger as a concept, as a delivery model with 3 organisations than just as 1. So I think, as we've heard many times today, partnership is where it's at. And there are models of good practice out there for putting partnership projects together and continuing to deliver this sort of great work. So I won't say any more. I will finish there and invite Peter, I think, our last speaker, as we gallop towards